anybody that's like Bronze League right now. And so the basis of this is you're making Marines, Tank, and Banshees now. Now you want to get Cloak. And you have 2 bases. You can get... Once again, I'm making workers, saturating my bases, getting a 3rd command center. I have the money for it. Always hotkey your units as well. You want to get in the habit of doing that. Hotkeying your units as they come out.
Additional supply depots required.
And so once you have this 3rd command center down, you can build 2 more factories. You build factories 1 and 2. You lift this building, you lift the barracks. You can actually get a 4th factory as well. So you're going to go up to 4 factories, a starport, and a barracks. You can even get an armory right now as well. And another nice thing to do when you're learning how to mech is always just build a turret in your mineral line. Like you notice, boom, just build a turret in your mineral line. Just do it. It's worth it, guys. And now I'm getting blue flame as well. And it's the nice thing with these Banshees is you can actually go harass and try and do stuff to your opponent. And try not to get supply blocked. It's okay to use the supply call down if you get supply blocked. It's actually worth it to unsupply block yourself. Alright, so here's the basics. Here's the fucking basics. Once again, I'm gonna try not to kill him. So here's the basic production setup that you guys need to aim for when you want to mech, when you want to go mech. 4 factories, the starport, and the barracks. And you can get the armory and the Ghost Academy. So you're going to have tanks 2 at a time, Hellions 4 at a time from these 4 factories. And then this, with the starport, you can either make Vikings 1 at a time, or you can get the reactor on it. It's sort of up to you. And now that this is done, we can go ahead and lift that out to our 3rd. Oh, and the other important thing about mech is always get a sensor tower and a turret ring. And only do that after you have your 3rd orbital command center. So you want to start this sensor tower ring and the turret ring after your 3rd CC is done. Try not to do it before then, otherwise it doesn't really work out well. So once again, I have four factories. You notice my money right now. Like if you look at my money. If you look at the way my money is being spent, it's being spent really efficiently. Like all the gas is being used up, all of the minerals are being used up. And here's another trick for when you're playing mech right now. So I'm going to show you guys. Here's another little thing. What the? So here's another thing. You notice I do not have enough Vespian gas to make another tank out of this factory. If you don't have enough gas, you can make Hellions out of all your factories. Make sure you're at least building something. Make sure you're always building something, guys. So the idea right now is you're building tanks, you're building Vikings out of your starport, building ghosts out of your barracks. And once again, the main production setup that you have is you're on 4 factories, 1 barracks, starport, Ghost Academy, and an armory. And then you go. Like, once again, just keep cranking out fucking Hellions and tanks. And whenever you get them, hotkey them. And for this, also, you want to, at some point, throw away all of your Marines. What you can do is you can send them out on the map. Like, send them here, send them there, send them everywhere. Send them to your enemy base. So that way you don't have any Marines in your hotkey group anymore. And once again, walling off is important. So you notice I'm building walls everywhere. So I'm just building walls. Build a turret. Always, every base you have, you want a missile turret in the mineral line to be safe. Once again, I'm just walling off my base here. And still producing units. Just making a lot of units.
Not enough minerals.
And every now and then check your saturation. I have 15 on my main, 21 on my natural, 12 on my 3rd at right now. So I can actually transfer like about 5-6 of these to my 3rd. Now look at my saturation. I have 15 on my main, 15 on my natural, 24 on my 3rd. And at this point in the game, you can actually stop making SCVs. Like once you're saturated, I actually might have a little too many SCVs. Once you're saturated on 3 bases, that's when you want to stop building workers. And of course, because I have the armory, all of these fucking Hellions,
Items required.
boom, what's up? Fucking transformed. Optimus Prime that shit. Alright, so at this point, like, hopefully you've made more stuff than your opponent. And then you can go crush them like this. And remember, whenever a battle happens like that, immediately select your hotkey that you have all your buildings on, which you should have hotkeyed, and then start spamming out units. And the thing with Mech is, at this point in the game, you would want to throw down like 3 extra starports, or even 4, for Banshee and Raven production. And then you can, when you get a lot of money, make command centers. Like you notice I have a lot of fucking money right now. Make 8 bajillion command centers. Just do this. Use your money on something, and orbitals are really good. I should even have a planetary right there. So yeah, so that's the basic outline, guys, of what you want to do when you're playing Mech. Against Protoss, at least. I know that's a lot of stuff to keep track of, but that's the main idea. And then you go Mech it happen. You go Mech it happen, guys. That's what you do. And your opponent will probably be wondering, like, wow, Mech is so powerful. And once again, whenever you get new buildings, hotkey them up. I hotkey all my buildings. I hotkey all my buildings to 9. It's up to you what you want to hotkey them as. I gave him the stream link, guys. I did that.
Okay.
Wow, that Colossus is pretty dead. And then yeah, so
Unacceptable landing zone.
make orbitals.
Field depleted.
You can lift that out. And once again, you always want a planetary at your choke point right here. This guy apparently plays World of Warcraft. So yeah, guys, that's the basic outline. That's the basic outline of what you want to do when you play Mech. You want to get those 4 factories, get the barracks, get the starport with the reactor, and then from there you just you try and macro out as many units as you can. So there's game number 1, guys, in our Bronze through Masters Mech tutorial series. And I think that build setup that I did works pretty much for anybody, for any league. Doesn't matter what league you're in. If you do the Reaper expand into a 1-1-1, it's really good. It's really good. And remember, guys, always build the bunker. Like that last game, for example, he had 3 zealots, right? If you always build that bunker every single game, you'll never die to like any little attack from your opponent or any little harassment. So you always want to build a bunker. Alright, so now we got a TVT game. And TVT is, I'm going to show you guys the safest build humanly possible for Terran versus Terran. If you do this build, it's almost impossible to die to anything your opponent does. You will have an economy disadvantage against somebody that goes for economy-based play, but that doesn't matter if you're in like fucking Bronze League. All you want to do is stay alive, right? So let me show you guys. This is Terran versus Terran. So this will be the safest build known to man. I could show you the build that lets you kill your opponent, like really easy kill, but I'll show you this one because I think it's more helpful for learning. So first off, first depot in your base. You can build it at your ramp, but Terran versus Terran, I like building it in my base. And once again, I hotkey that. Like for me, I hotkey it to 2 and 6, just so that I'm moving my fingers and stuff. So hotkey your first depot. Always do that. And what you're gonna do is, so that's a 10 supply depot. And on 12 supply, you're going to build your barracks. And keep in mind, guys, if you're newer to the game, whenever I say 10 depot or 12 barracks, or whenever a StarCraft player refers to to a building, to building something on a certain number, that's assuming constant worker production. So constantly be building workers. That gas was on 13. Like you notice, I'm constantly building workers this whole time. And now I'm gonna scout. So always scout around your base. Make sure your opponent didn't build buildings next to your base. And now I'm gonna get a second gas, guys, around 14. And that's where this build is different from other builds, as you're gonna see in a second. Make sure you gas once that's finished. Once again, scout around the map. My scout SCV is hotkeyed to 1. Get your orbital once that's finished. Make a marine, 1 marine. Put 2 guys on the other gas. Now once again, this build is a little different from other builds. You're gonna get a depot, your second depot. Oh, what? Did I just... Oh, for a moment I thought I saw something. And get a reactor on your barracks right now. So you'll notice this is a really, really early reactor. And with your next 150 minerals, once again, assuming constant worker production, you're not stopping building workers. You're gonna build a factory with your next 150 minerals here.
Not enough minerals.
This is the oldest of old school builds. This guy actually walled off his base. Once again, look, constant at hotkey your buildings right when you make them so that you're organized. He walled off his base. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make marines 2 at a time. You can patrol your scout in front of his base. Around 21, 22 supply, you need another supply depot so that you don't get supply blocked. Once again, notice constant worker production. And from this point on, you're going to make constant workers and constant marines out of your barracks here. You can put them at your ramp. Now, once this factory is finished, you're going to build a starport right when it's done. Use your mules as well. And you guys will notice a lot of times I don't even use supply numbers to remember the build order. What I'm doing is I have triggers in my head of when to build buildings. Build a tech lot. Like, once the factory's done, you just build the starport. It's pretty self-explanatory. Like, you don't need to remember this. That's the way I play StarCraft. I don't remember supply numbers. I just, you know, once the factory's done, I build a starport, and once that's done, I do the next thing. Like, and as long as you're building workers the whole time, you'll be doing everything efficiently because you've done it so much. Now you want to make, you notice I built a tech lab and then I lifted it off. You're going to build a Raven and with your tech lab that I just left there. So you're going to build a Raven. So the idea is, and this is a 1 base build, so you're going to stay alive. You're not going to die to anything. Put a Marine at the front of your base. Everything else you can leave in your base. But you're building tanks, Marines, and you're building that initial Raven. So once again, this Marine is at the front of my base. I have a scout in front of his base. Everything else, I can leave in my main base. All of this stuff, I'm rallied it here. So in case my opponent flies in with the Banshee, I don't die. So once again, so now you're going to still making Marines, tank, Viking after the Raven. Try and keep up with supply depots. Hotkey the Raven, you can right click on a Marine so that it follows those. Might be easier. Hotkey these. And this is just the safest, it's just the safest TVT build you could ever do. Now here's where you make some decisions on, you should probably scan your opponent. But you can make decisions on like, when you get you can keep making units, or you can have like a little gap in production here and get your command center out, which is also really good to do. Hotkey that. So I'm going to make a command center down here with the money. So you'll notice it, and I'm going to scan him right now. So he has an armory. It looks like he's going for a ton of Hellbats. And also, like I said the last game, always build a bunker at the front of your base. And you can keep building Vikings out of your starport if you want here. So this is just a build, like I said, I'm not going to do anything flashy. I'm not going to really attack him or anything. You can push across the map. But this build, the reason this build is so nice is you're not going to die to any attacks your opponent does. So you notice, like, look at that. I don't think I even